What is up, everybody? The Destroyer here. Welcome back to another cast of the Rise of the Witch King patch 2.2 version 6. Today we'll be looking at a 2v2 on Buckland. Alright, let's see who we get here. Our first player is DJ Premier as the Dwarves in the top left. In the top right we have his ally Checkmates. It's Isengard. The opposing team is... I guess that's Bauer? That's probably how you say that. Bauer as Mordor. And we have his ally Viva as Goblins. Viva, I know who Viva is. He's pretty good. Cool. Alright, so we got Goblins and Mordor versus Isengard and Dwarves. Interesting. Alright. We'll see who comes out on top. Looks like DJ Premier is going for Hollow Warriors here. He's got 2 mines already out, and he's going for a mine probably near the outpost, or maybe near his enemy's base, I would guess, judging by his trajectory. You have a clan setting being thrown up by Checkmate. Seems to be going a little bit slower than his ally. Maybe not. Nope, it's actually fine. Because the clan setting is, of course, a more expensive building. That's why. Of course. How could I forget? And it looks like Teacher Premier is putting his mic up there. Interesting. Somehow I just observed a player. Don't know how that happens. Alright, Viva's going for 2 goblin caves. He's got goblins queued up as well. Is he really going all this up one tunnel? Interesting. I don't know if that's normal or not to go off one tunnel. Maybe. Maybe that's a good thing for goblins. I have no idea. And it looks like Bauer is going for 2 orc pits here. He's got 4 slaughterhouses, so that's not too bad. Should be able to spam his way to success, hopefully. For him, at least. I have no, of course, preference of who wins. I also don't know who wins either. Actually, that's false. I do. I read the replay description. Sometimes they do say, but I won't spoil it, of course. Yes. So we have spam, and then we have Isengard spam as well so far. I would definitely count Axars, or Wildman Dunlin rather, as spam. Dwarves, of course, don't have any spam of any kind. Closest they can get to spam is hobbits from the inns. This is a good tactic, though, Viva has employed on DJ Premier, though. Because he will have a lot of spam to be brought out. He just needs to keep the dwarves at bay, which they seem to be doing with their poison blades. The dwarves drop there. Just gotta outnumber them, really, and then keep the dwarves down by attacking all of his mines everywhere he can. And that will probably make him do very well, I think. We'll see how Bauer does against Checkmate here. Checkmate has a fair amount of Wildmen of Dunlin, which of course outclass these orc warriors, so I think Checkmate will be okay until some archers come in or something. So he does have some archer support here. And now he's sitting on 4 caves. Very nice indeed. Looks like the armies of Mordor and Goblins are working together here, going to attack the base of Checkmate. We'll definitely get that for sure. That furnace is going down. Let's see how DJ Premier's attack is doing here. So you get a couple of battalions of Guardians going against the Goblins. I mean, he has potential to do some damage if you can get him close and more chant him, or Rally Call rather. DJ Premier does have his Rally Call ready. He'll of course want to group up his dwarves before he throws that down, though. I think he went a bit too deep there, maybe. Most of that battalion was dead before, very wounded before they got there. Probably should have put one of them attacking. And now a big force from Bauer is moving up in the north. A bit scary. It's got a couple of battalions of archers with 4 orcs. There's definitely not enough Wildman support here to take that out. He is starting to get crossbows. Checkmate is here. Checkmate, not Checkmate. Isengard, Wildman, Dunlin, and crossbows are a pretty standard tactic for Isengard. Works pretty good. You just need those wildmans to tank the damage, the crossbows do the damage. It's pretty effective until, of course, you're going to need some pikes at some point. Well, usually at least. What is going on here? Yshmir's just letting his dwarves die. Not sure why that is. Checkmate's trying to hold on here against the overwhelming force. The Orc Warriors aren't going to be much. But the Orc Archers are doing pretty significant damage, of course, because these are very lightly defended, armored-wise, and health-wise, of course. Being a spam unit, as they are, they can get, of course, upgraded with Forge heavy armor, but, of course, that's not going to happen, is it? not early game. Looks like a wall help was thrown down, undoubtedly to save a builder. Majority of players don't build a wall. Not in any kind of competitive fashion, at least. Only players like myself really throw down a wall just because it's fun. And we do have an archer range now for Ysengard, which should help out immensely. I think he would definitely do well with a battle wagon, as Viva is just using goblin warriors and archers now. No spider pit in existence. Down goes the tainted land, and this is probably going to be a bit of a devastating attack. I don't think he'll do too much damage to the fort. Goblin warriors against the fort of the dwarves is pretty weak. As you see, he's doing very small damage. He should really be focusing these, and he is doing so now. Definitely the right decision. He's going to cripple Ysengard's economy once again by destroying all his mines for the most part. If you can even get one of these, that'd be good. But as you see, Goblin Warriors, even with the buff, have a hard time getting rid of this dwarven structures that aren't mines. So, it's a bit of a problem for him, definitely. And it looks like Checkmate is actually making a attack against Bauer now. His crossbow's definitely doing the work. Of course, crossbows outclass these Orc Archers pretty substantially, I'd say. These take more hits, they have more life, and of course they do more damage as well. I mean, look at that, the Orc Warriors aren't even doing much to them. Gives them plenty of time to kill off their opponents there. He's also got some Wildland down them with torches there, which are great against structures. Definitely a good choice. And I would certainly say Checkmate is having a good time here. He's actually level 5. They did die there. Malthasaran has been brought out for Bauer, though. Should help out getting rid of these crossbows. A good choice of a hero, definitely. As he is on a mount, which is very useful against archers, as you would expect. Gothmog is not a bad choice either, but I think he's definitely a superior choice in this situation. But I do think Checkmate does have the advantage currently on that side, and now he was sending an army that way while Ysengard sends an army into his base. We'll probably have to pull back here. This is, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 battalions of dwarves? With rally call, no less. They'll easily overpower these goblins. So he's going to need some sort of a defense that he does not have currently. I think Viva may be making a mistake by attacking the Isengard player here. Of course, if I can kill one of the opponents, then he'll be pretty well off, but at the same time, if he can't defend against the dwarves, he might be in trouble. If he just keeps the spam out, he should be able to overwhelm the dwarven attackers, though. He also built a spider hole expansion, which is great for defense. He just continuously spams little spiderlings against melee units, and they're fairly effective as well. Especially when you surround the damn place in them, and they're pretty effective. And it looks like Isengard did actually push that attack back as well. Checkmate is feeling strong, I have no doubt. Ysengard has some Axlors over here as well. And Lurtz has been brought out by Checkmates. Very nice. If you can get him to level 5, his army will be very strong with that leadership. And that would be very, very bad for Bauer and Viva. Malthasaran is a little bit wounded here. He's trying to take out as much as he can. And now he's already level 4. He leveled up quick. So he now has Doubt. I almost call it Descent. Doubt. Descent, of course, is his level 10 power now. But Doubt reduces enemy armor and damage and nullifies enemy leadership, which is really good against dwarves, actually. Because you don't want to fight buffed dwarves. They're already hard to kill. And now the armies of Mordor and Isengard are clashing once again. Under the Creebine of Isengard, it looks like. No, that's... what? That must be a bat cloud. Is there both? That's definitely a Creebine, but why is Isengard weakened? Oh, it must be Doubt. Doubt from Mouth of Sauron. Undoubtedly. Because this is Isengard's. Wouldn't make sense. Yes, he did come over and use Doubt. That makes sense. And at a first glance, it was confusing. But I get it. I get it. Some Goblin Warriors have been sent to attack this Barrow-wight. Probably just to get some power points. Is that a thing you can do? Or was that by accident? Very well made by accident, but... Let's take a look at power points while we're at it, eh? Viva seems to have defended nicely. He's got himself a fissure, as well as building his third Goblin Cave back. He's at Cave Bats, Tainland, 9 power points, 341 to 475. Checkmate, the Isengard player in the north is got Devastation, War Chant, Creebine, 6 power points, 448 to 475. Bauer, the Mordor player down here, is at I have Sauron, Tainland, 6 power points, 247, 400. And DJ Premier has Undermine, Rally Call, 1 power point, 245, 450. So it looks like Viva's doing the best in the economy front. But I'd say Isengard might be doing the best in the PowerPoint front, if I remember correctly. Down goes the Undermine. Insta-killing a lot of these Goblin Warriors. If you didn't know that, it does do pretty good damage to spam units like Orcs and Goblins. It does insta-kill them. So very useful for defending against those factions. Of course, Undermine will also destroy you. Enemy siege, like ballistas and catapults. Not giants and ents, though, of course. That's the thing that makes giants and ents superior to ballistas and trebuchets and such, is they don't get insta-killed by, like, Undermine, they don't get insta-killed by eagles, stuff like that. They're very much more durable, I guess. And of course they can be sent flying, which is the main reason why they actually live through that. A trebuchet can't be sent flying, so it just destroys it instantly. Isengard is looking strong, though. Definitely. He's got some pikes in there as well. Undoubtedly. To defend against the Mouth of Sauron, which is a good choice. And now, looks like Checkmate and DJ Premier are pushing in on Viva, who probably does not have the force necessary to defend against that. But he is, meanwhile, going for a vicious attack on DJ Premier's base. Will it get him where he needs to go, though? Could be a base race. But I don't think the Goblins have enough power over here to actually do the damage they need to do. If you had more half-trolls, maybe. But not with Isengard's army here now. They are giving leadership from Lurtz there. Which cripple striking Azog and going in for the kill. He doesn't have his Carnage ready, fortunately for him. But even without Carnage, he should be able to kill Azog without any problems, as long as he doesn't have his Great Battle Wage, which he does not, and he does fall. And a nice defense there. It looks like Viva has defended, though. It looks like he used the Spider Summon. Interesting. Summon Spiderling allies. It's not a power you see chosen too often in the earlier game. It's usually one of the later powers chosen, but actually, I think in this situation it might have helped him out. He might have been needing that power desperately just to stay alive. These are very good against structures, though, I believe. Oh yeah, look at that. They do some sick damage to structures. They're not super durable, though. And now Bauer's pushing up with his Mordor force. Looking fairly strong. I don't think Mouth of Sauron's alive anymore. He may have been killed by Lurtz, which would be not surprising. That's the problem when you go up against Lurtz. You get cripple struck, you get carnage to death very quickly and very easily. So you have to play very carefully if you're up against a carnage or Lurtz with carnage. Just the Lurtz in general with cripple strike. Anything. I think Lurtz is the only hero with cripple strike, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I guess that's not true. He's the only one with a ranged cripple strike. Of course, you do have the Morgul Blades and the Poison Stings from the Nazgul and Shelob and Goblin King, but those are not ranged, those are melee attacks. But Lurtz is really dangerous because his is a range attack. Isengard and Mordor clashing once again. Looks like the army of Isengard is being debuffed. Well, now the bottom team is being buffed because that is definitely Isengard's freezing ray. This arrow volley there killed a fair amount of Checkmate's troops. And I'd say Bauer is okay here. Definitely. Viva's continuously sending out spam. He does have his half-troll swordsman here as well, which are very good units. Although DJ Ramirez is now brought into the fray of Men of Dale, which are very good as well. Excellent archers. Especially when the enemy team is debuffed with freezing rain. A very, very good weapon to have as dwarves. He's also got battle wagons, which is just tearing them a new one. Battle wagon's taking very little damage. And if he's careful with it and micros enough and gets it in there, he could take out all these archers and everything. But there is a battalion of Easterlings in there he has to watch for. Now there's another one as well. So he's got to be careful. There's a lot of little wall hubs around here. Lots of builders trying to save their own lives. We all know the life of a builder is not a secure one. So you gotta do what you can. Ooh, Azog almost got rid of the battle wagon there. Just gotta be a little bit careful though. Azog is being burst down by Men of Dale and Axe Lords, and actually he does get killed by them. Unfortunate. Oh, King Dane's in here as well. I didn't see him. I guess that explains why the dwarves are getting leadership. Very nice. King Dane is a great support hero. One of the better support heroes, I think. Having resistance to fear and terror at level 2 is really good. Especially against like Nazgul and Boromir's Horn, stuff like that. And of course, Mighty Rage, essentially... what? Reduces target enemy's armor damage. Nullifies English. So Mighty Rage can be used on enemies or on your friendly units, which is interesting. I actually didn't know about the using it on enemies, to be honest. I probably did, but I forgot. So there's that. You can debuff your enemies with it, or you can use it on your allies. Now, of course, he has Summon Royal Guard at level 8, which is great. And since in 2.02 you don't experience for killing summoned units, the Royal Guard is very effective and doesn't feed power points to the enemy like it used to. Because it definitely used to. So when you kill level 3, the fully upgraded level 5 battalions of dwarves, you would get a lot. But not anymore. So Goblin King is out here. Uh-oh. And here's exactly what I explained earlier. Mouth of Sauron being burst down by alerts while he's crippled. A bad situation to be in. There's Undermine there, somewhere. But where? Where did he use the Undermine? I genuinely don't know where Undermine just went down. Oh, there it is. Alright, Teacher of Mirror's going up for attack against Viva. He really only has ranged units, though. Still, the ranged units with the King Dane leadership is very, very useful. Look at this. He's just melting the forces of the goblins with just archers. Viva definitely needs Spider Rider support, and he does not even have a Spider Pit. So that will probably be his downfall, I think. No cab for the southern team at all, which I think is a big mistake. Especially considering how much the enemy teams of them are actually relying on ranged units. A couple of times the Haradrim Lancers might do good here as well, but we don't have any of those. And now all these Axeblowers are getting level 5 because they've been alive so long. And even these Wildmen. They will net really good experience to the enemy, though. That's the downside about them getting level 5. But they will be at least effective in combat. Beacon being placed by Checkmates. Oh, Viva's army has come and cut off the escape route of Checkmate's army there. Now they're going for the pincer move to try and get rid of as much as possible. There is a troll here as well. You should really make that troll eat an orc to get some life back. A lot of players forget you can do that. As long as he's not holding a tree, he can eat an orc and pretty much get full health, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Troll does fall, though. There is phalanx on that battle wagon with the banner, so that does make it a little more effective at defending against trolls. Which is quite good. Quite good indeed. I would definitely say Bauer is not in the best way here. In fact, I don't think he has too many farms. 450, 7575, 500, 625. Checkmate's definitely doing the best here. He's also got Field of Fires, so it looks like he's looking to take advantage of that by getting a bunch of lumber mills there. Very nice. That's definitely what you want to do as Isengard. Because Field of Fires is OP. And then we have Saruman there. Very nice. That'll be very, very difficult to deal with for both sides. I'd definitely say Viva is going to have a hard time getting rid of these goblins, or these dwarves rather, with what goblin set he has. I just don't know why he's not making Spider Riders. I mean, Viva's a very good player. Like, I've seen him play, but he's not making Spider Riders whatsoever against an army full of archers. Which is madness. If he sent in a wave of Goblin Warriors with some Spider Rider support from the side, I think he could easily crush this. But he does not have the means to do so without a Spider Pit. That's the downside. He is going for attacks, though, so I can see what he's doing. Unfortunately, he's just being debuffed at the same time, making his attack pretty much nullified. Azog's really the only one doing damage here. One score kills over here as well, but very well maybe. I can't. I don't see him. Azog killed the battle wagon though. That's pretty nice. Meanwhile, his base is being attacked. There we go. Wildman summoned on top of the Men of Dale. Very nice. That's the kind of stuff you need. That's a useful power against archer factions. I say archer factions loosely. Anyone who built archers, I guess. But yeah. That was definitely a good choice there, and that destroyed DJ Premier's force pretty nicely. Although there is an army of Isengard in the back of the base of Bauer here. Checkmate could do some serious, possibly critical damage. Unfortunately for Checkmate, though, a lot of his army is archers, crossbows. Without fire arrows, they will not do much of anything to this building. The Axelors, though, and the Wildmen and Gunmen will. That's why I personally prefer a lot of Axelors over crossbows. But crossbows are better against units, I feel. They both have their uses. But one is better against structures. And still good against units, so that's why I like Axelors, but I mean, these are fire arrows would do pretty well also, if you wanted to go for that. Saruman needs a Wizard Blast. He just needs to be careful. Yes, very nice. Sounds like Golem is being killed there. He did indeed die on the top of Isengard's base. Definitely the player who would have the means to build the Ring Hero if he wanted to. He's already at 5 grand almost. So potentially he could go for Sauron, which would be pretty nuts if he wanted to. I doubt he will, but you never know. Viva trying an attack once again here. Get the summoned spiderlings. Oh, Azog's gonna get killed. Oh, King Dane! This is why you don't keep your hero in hold ground stance too much. He walked past King Dane like twice, who just needed to swing from auto attack, but since he was in hold ground stance, he would not auto attack. That is unfortunate. You have to be very careful when you're using hold ground stance, because your units become pacifists until you manually tell them to attack, which is sometimes not good. And that is definitely a scenario where that is the case. Checkmate is doing very, very well, though. Oh. Undermine actually doesn't kill Orc Warriors, apparently. It does kill Goblins, though. And very, very close to death for Orc Warriors, I guess. If they're debuffed, they would have died, I suppose. So I do retract a little bit of my statement earlier. Still good, though. I mean, leaving an entire army with no health, pretty effective. There's the Metadale summon with the War Chants, very nice indeed. I think they're going to double Viva here. And that will definitely probably be GG for the South team. Looks like a worm was summoned in here. Did some damage, but it has been taken out. And now the double begins. Bauer doesn't really have enough to lift the siege on the Goblins, I don't think. Isengard could easily take this out. I think Saruman himself could probably take this out. He has his Fireball and his Wizard Blast. He can pretty much negate all that. Which he does indeed. And of course they have that again. Goblins hold that Signal Fire. Isengard holds this one. The problem with Isengard holding this one is he's got a lot of good powers. See what the top power is for each faction. Mordor does not really have anything. He's been getting very little power points. And we have Dale summon. Just a nice Wizard Blast there. We got Worm, of course, for Goblins. Which is fairly good. We keep having Freezing Rain. I mean, look at it. Freezing Rain is already recharging pretty quickly. Which are being used already. And he is up to 19 power points. So soon enough he will have himself either a Dragon or a Dragon Strike, whichever he chooses. So I guess we will see. Mordor is pulling back, it looks like. Regrouping, rather. Gloin has been employed by DJ Premier there. Ooh, we almost got the Builder. Very close. It looks like Checkmate is pulling back. And also opting not to actually get the ring there. Viva has summoned Wildman in the back of his base, apparently. That has potential to do some damage. And also they're moving around the ring of power. Filthy Wildman. Thought he'd bring his entire army back to deal with that, though. I think this one battalion across was probably enough. But not before losing a bunch of his base. But he is Isengard, he's doing well, and I don't think he's going to have any issues here. He's also got 2 level 3 siege works. So he's building ballistas out of those. He could build mines if he so desired, which would be interesting. I do love me some mine play, but you don't see it very often in a competitive game. Mostly in joke games, because they're not really weapons you can employ very easily. Looks like we do have Gimli as well out here for DJ Premier. Very sick indeed. Goblin King is up to level 3. Once he gets level 4, he gives allies leadership. So that'll be useful. Azog is level 6. Of course, means he's already got all his powers. He gets his last power, Crack the Whip, at level 6. Well. Oh my god, is it happening? It's finally happening. Viva has started construction on a spider base. I think it's way overdue, to be honest. I'm surprised he made it this far without it. But now that the dwarves are gaining in strength, I think he's going to have a bit more trouble. Once a Gimli starts leveling up, things don't get any easier. Ah, beautiful fireball. I love watching Saruman just dominate the battlefield. He's up to level 6 now, he's got his Thunderbolt. And he's angry. Of course, he is just fighting Orc Warriors right now. But, I mean, he's doing well enough. Sounds like we do have a dragon. We do indeed. It's the smog dragon as well. It means he does have the ring of power in his base. So he gets the smog dragon instead of the normal one. Which is pretty cool. I do prefer this one. It's a beefier, fatter version. Just looks cooler, I think, than the normal one. There's a barrage. Oh dear, Viva is in a heaping amount of trouble. And now the Dwarven heroes going for the fort. Ah, if only Gloim is level 4. But of course they will not need it. Viva is going to die here. There is no way. Viva's already left the game, in fact. There we go. Yeah. An unfortunate turn of events for Viva. And that leaves his base to the army of Bauer, who is destroying his stuff. Oh, he had Black Riders too. Unfortunate. Well, there you go. The winners of that are Checkmating DJ Premier. Very nice. I thought both teams played well, but I do question the lack of Spider Rider support from the Goblins, definitely. I think that would have been huge against the Dwarves there. He was struggling against the archers, and that's really what he needed, but anyway, I think they both did well regardless. But yeah, I think Isengard got the upper hand early game, and really just took control of the right side, making Bauer not really as effective at keeping his opponent from doubling him. So there you go. Anyway, that was a pretty good match, I thought, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. So I will see you guys in the next cast of the Rise of the Witch King Patch 2.2 version 6. See you all next time.